Okay, so now we have seen that simplex method, in the simplex method, we move from one vertex. Basic feasible solution is essentially represents a vertex, and at every step it goes to another adjacent vertex such that the objective function is improved until you reach a case when no adjacent vertex is going to improve your objective function any further, when you terminate at being at the optimal. That's the expected good behavior of a well formulated problem, that at every step you will improve the objective function by choosing another adjacent vertex. And so improving objective function means if it is a maximization problem, then the objective function should increase. If it is minimization problem, then objective function should reduce. Uh, a more specific case that needs to be looked at later on is when you move to an objective function with the same cost value adjacent, but you move to the objective function with the same cost value, and then maybe after that you improve. So that is also permitted, but right now we will keep our life simple by considering more traditional cases where every step of the objective function improve, every step of the simplex method causes a movement to an adjacent vertex or an extreme point, or an extreme vertex, different names for it, and then improve that feasible corner point, or improves that objective function is improved at the next step. Now the thing is, uh, so far we have identified, okay, while moving to the while moving to the adjacent vertex, what is going to happen? One new constraint, which is in our case corresponding to the jth non-basic variable. If you remember clearly, we have been talking about bringing in the jth non-basic variable uh, in. So that that variable is going to come in, and when this variable comes in, what is going to happen is, as you increase this variable, some basic variables will start reducing, not necessarily all, but some basic variables will start reducing. I'll explain that. And so when the first basic variable goes to zero, that basic variable goes to zero, that basic variable goes out of uh, basic variable goes out of the basic variable set. It becomes a non-basic variable, and hence it becomes non-basic. While this jth basic variable has now become jth non-basic variable has now become, so jth non-basic variable has moved to being a basic variable. So this is what is going to happen. So to understand this phenomenon, uh, what we are saying is bx, this is our ax is equal to b equation, bxb plus nxn is equal to b, where xb and xn are xb and xn are, what are they? Partitions of the overall n variable set x1 to xn, partition of the overall n variable set x1 to xn into m, partitioned into m basic variables, and n minus m non-basic variables. Non-basic variables means they have zero value, they have zero value, and basic variables have usually strictly greater than zero value. So xb can now be written as the basic variable set right now that we have at our present operating point iteration can be written as B inverse of capital B inverse of small vector b minus n xn. So n is what is the b? B is a m cross n matrix. Basic variables means I had already said earlier that the columns of the A matrix corresponding to the basic variables are linearly independent. So B is a M cross M matrix of rank M. So it is a non-singular matrix. Hence its B inverse exists. And once B inverse exists, this step is doable. Otherwise, obviously, you cannot do that step. And then B inverse B becomes a vector B bar, which are the coordinates of the existing, at where you are the coordinates of the basic variables at that, and therefore they are all greater than or equal to 0. Usually I am considering right now the case that they are strictly greater than 0, uh, and then simplified case, I am considering a simplified case that all of them are strictly greater than 0, and then B inverse of n, this becomes a M cross n matrix, because a M cross M matrix is being multiplied by 2 M into n minus M matrix, creating a matrix of dimension M into n minus M. Now this is what you are going to get, times the multiplied by the non-vector of non-basic variables xn. Okay, so this is a matrix, right? So we will call this matrix as this m into n minus m matrix. We'll call this as y matrix minus of b inverse of n, and this is now shown as made up of columns y1, y2, some yj, and yn minus m. Okay, now because so what was earlier we had seen, to slightly go back, slightly go back, uh, we had yeah, so we had this cost, reduced cost function is this. At this time, at this time, that means at the present vertex, the objective function value is this. And if we, these are the non-basic variables which are right now at 0, and we are evaluating the possibility of increasing them further. Now, if we are looking at a minimization problem, and there is a feasible step, there is a feasible step, I mean, a better improvement step is feasible. If the improvement step is feasible, then we said that at least one of them should be negative, because then when you increase that non-basic variable, then this will cause a reduction. This positive number multiplied by a negative number, or a negative number multiplied by a positive number, will cause a reduction in the objective function. So you will move away from the present vertex to another adjacent uh, adjacent vertex. So therefore, right now we are assuming that such a step is uh, feasible. If there is no such step feasible, then you are at the optimal solution, you terminate. So now what we are therefore looking at here is that based upon it, we have identified we have identified the we have identified that we want to, for example, here move with respect to x3. This is, we have to take one call between whether we should increase x3 or whether we should increase x8. Both is fine, both are acceptable to linear programming. A common sense greedy approach is that since this gives a x3 gives a bigger rate of reduction, let us increase x3. So this is called tie breaking. There are multiple choices here available, and I have to choose one. And my tie breaking strategy is greedy, which is that I will increase x3 because I get a faster rate of reduction with faster rate of reduction of -5 per unit change of x3. And with x8 I get only a -3 per unit change of x8. So therefore I opt for x3. So I opt for x3. So then j becomes 3. Now the j becomes 3. The non-basic variable which is coming into play is j. In this case is going to be 3. J in this case is uh, going to be 3. And So yj column represents that, and this minus b inverse aj, the corresponding to so what is the n matrix here? N matrix is um, so I have assumed that the first m are basic variables, so then it will be am plus 1 to an, and somewhere else in sitting in between is aj, and accordingly I calculated this minus of b inverse of n, and then this gave me b inverse of minus of b inverse of am plus 1 gave me y1, minus of b inverse am plus 2 gave me y2, and so on, and this is the way it is. I got ym. Now, corresponding to the non-basic variable which is going to be made basic now, that's the possibility we are evaluating. The corresponding column in the matrix minus b inverse n is yj, and it's a m cross 1 vector. Each coordinate, therefore, the column subscript j is fixed. The row subscript will vary from 1 to so on up to r, and then finally up to m. Okay. Now, since all other non-basic variables except xj will be kept to 0, so therefore what is going to happen is that when you uh, when you are at this step, uh, yeah, so when you are when you are looking at this multiplication here, in other words, you are multiplying this here by uh, x non-basic variable x, so m plus 1, let's say, up to xn, and somewhere else is sitting here is xj, then since this is 0, y1 is scaled by 0, the next one is 0, so this is scaled by 0, and yj only will be scaled by xj, and everything else will be scaled by 0 and then added. So hence xb will, this step will simplify to, due to the specific structure of xn being 0 0 0 0 0 xj 0 0 0, due to this specific structure only the yj column is of importance. The yj column is of importance, and you can write xb is equal to b bar minus yj times of xj, minus of yj times of xj, where y is of course a m cross 1 vector. Now, so if you write this further, if you expand this further, this is going to be b bar 1, b bar 2, b bar m minus y 1j xj minus y 2j xj minus y mj xj, and this dot 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 is there. Uh, so this is the way this vector is going to be looking, b bar minus yj xj, and they represent actually right now when xj is 0, then they represent the coordinates of the present basic variables, which are b1 bar, b2 bar to bm bar, which are to be greater than 0. Now look, as I increase xj, if yij is positive, okay, if the yij, some yij is positive, then what happens? This number is positive, this is positive, and I am increasing xj. So what will happen to this difference? It will start reducing. So therefore, the basic variable corresponding basic, if yij is greater than 0, then the corresponding basic variable will start reducing, and finally, when will it become 0? When will it become 0? It will become 0 when uh, uh, it will become 0 when bi bar, this becomes 0 means xj will become bi bar by yij. So that's when it will become 0. Now let me take a small example. So so I have, let's say, 3, 2, 1, and then Yij is, let's say, so 1 times of Xj. This is Y1j. Y2j is, let's say, 2 times of Xj, and Y3j is, let's say, plus 1 times of Xj. And the B vector, let me, for the sake of discussion, choose it as this all the basic variables are identical, 1, 1, and 1. So then what happens to, or if you want something different, you can take, say, 1, 2, 1. Okay. So then what happens? This says that xj, first equation says that xj can be increased up to, xj can be increased up to 3. That is when xj, uh, uh, I'm so, sorry, so sorry. Let me write it again. What does this say? 1 is equal to, what did I do? Did I write something? Yeah, so I'm sorry. Yeah, this is this is not 1 to 1. This is xb1, xb2, and xb3. So the first equation says that the first equation, when xb1 becomes 0, first equation says that when xb1 becomes 0, at that time xj would be at a value of 3 by 1, which is 3. Second equation says that when xb2 reaches 0, then the xj would be 2 by 2, which is 1. And the third equation says that uh, as I increase xj, xb3 will also increase. So it's not going to 0, so it will never become infeasible. So this is a don't care equation. I don't have to care about this. Now, suppose I decided to go by the first equation by convenience and increased xj to 3. So then what will happen to xb2? If I allowed xj to go to 3, then this will become 2 minus 2 into 3, which is minus 4, which is not permitted. No variable can be negative. So this is not permitted. Hence, what happens? Can I go up to 3? No, I have to stop at when xb2 becomes 0. At that point, I have to stop, and xb1 value automatically reduces from its present value of 3 to 3 minus 1 into 1, which is 2. So it readjusts to a on 2, and this become variable will become 0. That is, this will go to non-basic partition as my xj moves into basic partition. Is it not? So therefore, what I have to do is I have to look at what I have to do is I have to look at all bi's by yij's where yij is greater than 0, bi bar is greater than 0 is known already, and then look at that those will give me different candidate values for yj's. I should choose the one which is minimum. So the xj is set to minimum of xbi by yij for I equal to 1 to m, being evaluated for only those yij's which are greater than 0. So this once you do, you move to the next iteration. Clearly, if all yij's are less than 0, that is the vector yj itself is less than 0, then there is no limit to this step, and hence we can get an unbounded solution. So if that happens, that no all yij's are less than 0, then it indicates an unbounded solution, and we have to immediately exit saying that in this particular case, if it is a minimization problem, the answer is at minus infinity. If it is a maximization problem, then the answer is at plus infinity. So with this, we have actually covered all the steps of the simplex method. To briefly say, every algorithm has 3 steps. initialization. This we assumed some x naught a basic feasible solution. Later on, when we discuss phase one of simplex method, we will see how this is obtained. In simple problems, origin itself could be a good initialization point, but all algorithms have an initialization step. Then there is a main step, and that main step is what it is to calculate Cn transpose minus Cb transpose B inverse n xn. Is that right? Is this the reduced cost? Is this the reduced cost? Let us check. Cn transpose minus Cb transpose B inverse of n. This is what we have to calculate. This is what we have to calculate. Then if it is a minimization problem, then this vector, if it is uh, less than or equal to 0, we stop, because then if it is a minimization problem and this, sorry, if it is a minimization problem and this vector is greater than or equal to 0, then we stop, because increasing in non-basic variables would make increase the objective function value, which is not to be done in a minimization problem. In case of maximization problem, if this is less than or equal to 0, we stop, because increasing non-basic variables would uh, reduce the objective function, that is take you further away from existing solution. That's not maximization. So these are the optimality conditions. So the main step will be first to check, calculate the reduced cost, then see if you are at optimal. If you are not at optimal, then it means that either you have a unbounded case, or you so rather I would say that if you are not at the optimal, then what it means is, if this doesn't happen, then it means that you have a step, you can do something to improve your objective function. So you find the best non-basic variable to be increased, uh, uh, to be increased to reduce the objective function, best non-basic variable to be increased to reduce the objective function in case of minimization problem, or increased in case of the maximization problem. And when you identify that, then you see if there is your step will close at some point, or it will keep on infiniting. So you will get a one of the two cases, unbounded, or go to the next better solution. Once you go to the next better, if you reach this unbounded thing, which is that you identified jth variable to k mean, and minus of b inverse aj is strictly less than 0 in minimization problem, then you just exit, because it's a unbounded case. Otherwise you go to the next better solution, check again, and so on until you terminate. Okay, so we will solve one problem and understand it better. Thank you.